Good day, welcome to Getting It Done North of 7. Today I'm going to show you how to sharpen your chainsaw with a file. As long as you got the correct file, it shouldn't take you long. The chainsaw we're going to sharpen today is going to be the Stihl MS-180. So what I'm going to do is tighten my chain for sharpening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this on the 180, and then we're going to tighten this chain up as tight as we can go. We're going to retighten this. That way the chain won't be moving a lot. So for the Stihl MS-180, we're going to be using a 5/32 file. It's a small file, so you want to be sure you got the correct file for your chainsaw chain. So I'm going to bring you in closer here. And these here are your rikers. I believe it's called a riker. These here have to be a touch lower than your tooth. So what happens when your chain turns? The riker rubs up against the wood and only a fraction of the tooth will hit and chew into the wood. If this wasn't here, you would bind up because this tooth would just grab it and bind right up. So when you notice that your riker is getting higher than the tooth, you know it's time for a new chain. So do you see how your tooth has an angle on it? So you want to file in that direction. You have the teeth on the left side, they're on this angle. The teeth on the right side are on this angle. So what we're going to do is we're going to sharpen one side at a time. So like this one, and this one. And then we're going to turn our chainsaw around. We're going to sharpen the ones that go in the opposite direction. So you see the shape of this tooth. The head of the tooth here is on an angle, right? It's like this. Well, then the side of the tooth also cuts, and it has to be sharpened. So what we're going to do is you're going to run the file through here like this, and it sharpens the side and the top of the tooth at the same time. This tooth here needs to be sharpened, and this tooth here has a little bit of a rough edge as well. I kind of hit some sand with it, so I know that this chain needs to be sharpened. So let's get to showing you. So we're going to start with this tooth here, and how we're going to know where we start and we're finished. The chain has a double link here. This is where the chain is connected to itself. And if you look here, there's only one link between each tooth. Here there's two links between each tooth. So that's how we know where we're going to start and where we're going to end. So remember now, we're going to get started. So your tooth is on an angle, right? Like this. And we're just going to we're going to use our hand on one side here and our hand on the other side on the handle here. And we're just going to run that file through. So I'm resting the edge of the chainsaw here on the vise. And we're just going to run our file through like this. See, at first you could feel it grabbing, and now it's working nice. And the last stroke, I always like to pull up on the chain like this. Last couple strokes like this. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next tooth. So the way I learned to sharpen my chainsaws was with my dad. My dad, he grew up, in his late teens. He was in logging camps and that sort of stuff, worked for years and that. And then later on, after he retired, he would burn wood. He cut and used a lot of firewood. So he is really good at sharpening chainsaws. And he actually told me when he worked in the logging camp that guys would pay him to sharpen their chainsaws. So he always made a little extra money on the side doing this. He's really good at it. Every time he's ever sharpened my chainsaw for me, it's so much better than what I do. He's got a lot of experience at it. But I know, like, with just doing it, you're going to get good at it. I know that. And then we'll go on to this one. Those are nice and sharp. Really nice. You can also turn your file like that while you're filing, so you're not always using the same edge of the file. Make sure you got a good file. Files do wear out, so you will need to get a new file periodically. Not that often. So here we are at the double links. We have our last two teeth left to do right here. Okay, now we'll flip it around and we'll do the other side. But you got the gist of it. That's easily how you do it. Make sure you got the right size file for your teeth on your chainsaw chain. And you just go around one at a time. We'll turn it around and we'll start hitting these teeth on this side now. Okay, now that I know I'm done, I'm going to loosen this up again. And I'm going to loosen my chain. It's all tightened up now, ready for use. All you need is a file, and you can easily do it yourself anywhere. And again, I want to thank you for watching, and if this helped you, please hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.